Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Welcome to Breeders' Cup Focus. In this edition, we're going to take a look at our top contenders for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and our Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile coverage presented by Shadwell Farm. Catalina Cruiser, 3-1 morning line favorite. In my opinion, one of the better older horses in the country when he's right. Totally likely to run in the sprint. Probably will be pre-entered in the Dirt Mile, 7-2 on the morning line. This is Brad Free's morning line. Omaha Beach now confirmed for the Dirt Mile. He is 4-1. Giant Expectations, who gave Catalina Cruiser a little bit of a battle in the Pat O'Brien, is at 6-1. And then we got a couple of interesting 3-year-olds turning back in distance a bit. Mr. Money and Improbable. We'll get to them in a bit. But let's start with Catalina Cruiser, who's been placed in some nice spots this year by John Sadler. We'll take a look at his most recent race, the Pat O'Brien. He was a heavy favorite. We see him second from the left, and it looks like he's in deep water because Giant Expectations has him hooked. To his credit, Catalina Cruiser battles back and wins.
Yeah, very game performance for him. And listen, it's not like Giant Expectations isn't a really nice horse, especially when he feels like running his best race. So this is, even though it's close, there's nothing wrong with this performance from Catalina Cruiser, who for the most part saved this race last year where he just didn't run at all. I mean, this horse has just been unstoppable.
Now, Giant Expectations is going to be a much bigger price than Catalina Cruiser in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. 7 furlongs, though, I just feel is his distance. And that was the distance of the Pat O'Brien. And I just wonder if maybe a mile is a little far for him, if he's kind of a tweener. They've tried to stretch him all the way out, and it really hasn't worked out. He is in good form. He's going to have to deal with a little bit of a layoff, as does the favorite.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, he's got a really good race in him. I agree with you that he might be a little bit better suited to a little bit shorter distances. But, man, if he shows up and runs his good race, this is a field he can contend in.
Omaha Beach, 4-1, one of the better 3-year-olds in the country early in the year. Kentucky Derby favorite, got injured, had all kinds of problems. Looked like he was never going to make it back to the races. After several aborted attempts, Dick Mandela turned him all the way back to 6. It was a daunting task to run down the very fast Chancelot. He did it. Let's give Mandela credit. Let's give the horse credit. Let's give the jock credit. He got this horse close to the pace. For some reason, Chancelot gave him the rail. Omaha Beach takes it, and he's going to fight hard to win this.
It's a very game performance, especially when you just lay out all the stuff that he had working against him on the way in. And then the fact that Chancelot shipped out here to run in the race, it just felt like if they had finished second there, they would have been happy. But he won it, and he earned a new career top for it. It's going to be even tougher for him come Breeders' Cup Day, but this horse just keeps getting better.
And this distance should be better for him as well. 6 might be just a little bit short, even though he is now a Grade 1 winner. Cole Front on his very best, I guess, has an outside chance at this. He won the Godolphin Mile. Looked like he went off form a little bit. Got a nice field to face last time out in the Parks Dirt Mile. He took a little bit of heat from Diamond King on the outside. It looked like he's in hot water at 3-5, but like the first 2 videos we've seen, they come battling back on the rail to win.
Yeah, he is going to come back and prevail in this race. This wasn't, his finest performance, but he does get it done. He did earn a 99 buyer for it. Listen, he's okay, Dan. I've never been his biggest fan, but there are a couple races on his page that suggest he could be dangerous in this race.
Diamond Oops is 10-1 on the morning line. This is going to be his first preference, I believe. He just ran a shockingly good race in the Shadwell Turf Mile, where he was kind of part of the only part of the pace still hanging around at the end. He's run well on dirt in the past. He has some upward mobility, although you could argue that his good race at Saratoga came when he was on the best part of the track.
It was, and he had a really good setup in that race too, with Imperial Hint sort of putting everybody away and him come running for a second. All those things are true, but he came back and he ran another good race last time. And overall, he's done nothing but do that, run good races. He was cut out, to me anyway, he was cut out to be a really nice horse, but he was sidelined by injuries, only got 1 start in as a 3-year-old. I think he's making up for lost time this year. Again, this is a good horse.
Mr. Money and Improbable, 3-year-olds turning back from the 1 1/8 Pennsylvania Derby. No excuses, I thought, for Mr. Money. He got just an easy pace. He's on the lead. He gets run down by a 1,000,000-to-1 shot Math Wizard. Improbable at least didn't break, and that's kind of been the story for him. And now he's down, buried towards the inside. Maybe you could give Improbable a little bit of an excuse, and I like him turning back to a mile.
Yeah, listen, you're not liking either of these two horses off of that race. That's not the race you want them out of. But I think the idea with the two of them is they're both pretty talented 3-year-olds. They both want to go shorter. If they can work out the right trips, and then probably have to take a step forward too. But this is the right race for these horses.
Catalina Cruiser, the 3-1 preliminary morning line favorite on Brad Free's morning line, looking to make amends from last year's Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile flop. Omaha Beach looks to be coming into this race now second off this long layoff in good form. And don't sleep on Giant Expectations or Diamond Oops. These are horses that have races and are coming into this race in very good form. Looks like a really good edition of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile 2019.